Oh, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone has had a wonderful start to their week. And Richard Gregory, so much to learn for this old dog trying to keep up. This podcast helps to figure it out. I am happy to be helping there on that one, Richard. And we're just getting started. And so tonight's going to be kind of a fun one because we're going through a lot of terms and vocabulary. And so no deep dives into the technicalities, nothing of that nature. Today we're learning what some of these words mean, and that will help as we continue to move forward when I'm trying to explain some of the different topics. It would be much easier if I could use the terminology that is common in the crypto industry. And so we're going to go through and get everyone those resources today. Hey, Weezer, how are you doing this evening? Thank you so much for joining us. And Lynn, I was able to set up my accounts and purchase XRP, but now I have to wait until 3/11 to put it on my ledger. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? So that's awesome, Lynn. You have learned some new tricks. But so the reason that you are actually being limited on the ability to leave Coinbase is based off of dollars coming into Coinbase. What they're worried about is that you're going to go and tell your bank that you didn't do that or that you want to charge it back. And so they let you immediately use your money to get crypto, but they don't let you leave with the crypto until they've passed a certain date where they feel comfortable that they're going to get to keep the dollars. Oh, good evening, Tyler. Oh, that is awesome news. Ledger is on its way. Good evening, HK Wiz. Psyched. Yeah, no, we got some fun ones today. Today is going to be a fun one. Nobody's getting quizzed tonight. We'll run the quiz on Friday. Janet Fazaza. Oh, hey, Janet. And Tino's lazy bum is sitting right over here. I'm certain as I continue to talk, he's going to show up. Bulldog 187th are limited on the number of trades per week on Coinbase. I have never hit a point where I was limited. Now, I do not regularly spot trade or day trade on Coinbase. So I'm usually going there to pick something up and go ahead and leave with it. That could be a factor, but I do not believe there is any limitation to the amount of trades per week on Coinbase at all. I do not think so. That or I've just never experienced it. Oh, Bears 7. Zester, we love you, young man. Thanks for helping us. I am extremely grateful to hear that, Bear, and I'm happy to be here. Star Bright. Hello, all. So glad to be among the knots. Yes, among the cosmonauts. We are headed for the moon or at least somewhere off planet at some point. If anything, we'll all be trained for it. That's awesome, Bulldog. Ledger is on the way. Hey there, WC. Good evening. Rocker Mom 117. I have a lot to learn. Well, we're going to go through it slowly. Rob Will. All right, here we go. Now we're digging into some. Zester, in your opinion, would you consider unverified assets as high risk? An absolute no or both. I've had some recommend to me that they have over 5K asset holders, but they seem sketchy. Rob, this is definitely leaning more towards some of the advanced type lessons that we want to go to in terms of decentralized finance, a term we're going to learn about today. And the reason I say that is because usually when tokens like this are not on exchanges, Rob, it's because they're new. They really don't have a long track record. If they've got 5K holders and they're not on a major exchange, people really aren't certain about them. And what I would actually look at, most important of all, and I suppose now is the time that I have to say this real quick, nothing I say should ever be construed as financial advice. This is solely for entertainment purposes and for educational purposes. So in no way is this financial advice, but usually what you would want to look at, Rob, is you want to see, is the team doxed? Is it a legitimate team? Does the business make sense? Are they actually trying to fill a need that someone has? You know, I've seen some projects out there that sound awesome until you think about it. You know, like, who's going to pay for the service? It sounds cool, but what value does it provide? And so I would look towards whether there is a docs team, whether they're actually providing a legitimate service, and I would look at whether they have any positive monetary flow into the company. Are they actually generating revenue? If they do qualify for all these things, it is high risk, Rob. Absolutely. Whenever you start to go in and dive into the small tokens, you are always risking things. There are some actually different little outlets that can kind of help. And so I will just jump in and show you one real quick here. When you actually, so this is utilizing DEX tools. DEX tools has a few different little services that are kind of helpful. And so in your case, you're looking at a tiny token, less than 5K followers. So here we go. Let's look at Melania token. Somebody launched Melania token just a few days ago, apparently, or it must be fairly new because it's up 646% today. All of this is looking very sketchy. All of this is looking very, very sketchy. And you can actually come down here and you can check audits. And so if you notice here over on the left, this is another little thing that you can go through that can help out with looking at some of these small token projects. But I don't want to leave your question entirely unanswered there, Rob, but I don't want to jump into things quite that advanced yet because we're going to work towards getting to this point. We just have, we can look at some of these things, familiarize yourself with DEX tools. There are a lot of helpful little indicators. Checking the audits is one that is helpful. It'll let you know whether they built things into the smart contract that they're not being honest about. All right, though. Arlene Calderon. Hi, ZZ. Thank you for teaching us. No, I am very, very happy. Very, very happy to be here, Arlene, and thank you for joining as well. Tyler purchased $80 of various coins Saturday, already up $5. Actually, I think we're doing the same because of the actual XRP that we grabbed on the live stream. And so if you see over here, we're substantially up on our XRP. And so that's awesome news to hear there, Tyler. I'm very, very happy for you. And with the market the way it is right now, it's kind of hard to go, but so wrong. But that is awesome news, Tyler. Weezer58, Coinbase has me restricted still. Even I've done the advanced verification. Now, that one is weird. So you've gone through all of the different security features that they have, and they're still restricting you. Have they notified you that there's a time on that one? Maybe they're taking a certain amount of days in order to, as they would say, do their due diligence. But so I'm interested in that one, Weezer. WC, I saw something on Cash App about getting cryptocurrency. Has anyone done that on Cash App? I know a few people that have. And it was very, very easy to go through and purchase on Cash App. But keep in mind that you're going through a service with fairly high fees, and you're going through a service that it's working through the same wallet. So not your keys, not your crypto. That's always an important thing to keep in mind. If those 25 words, those 12 words are not only written down on your piece of paper in your vault, then there's always a little bit of a worry. But WC, you could always grab it from Cash App and send it out to somewhere else. So, hey there, Mary Jones. Happy to have you here for this evening. I imagine people were a little thrown off with the time change today. And so my apologies to those that were. I was trying to figure out as we go through this what time works for the community and what time works with my work schedule. And so thank you so much for showing up. And my apologies to those who are watching this in recorded form that wish they were here live. All right, though. HKY Wiz, at some point again, can you please show us how to learn and earn? So this was a good one that we actually learned a decent amount about on account of the stream. Because as we come over here and we see the learning and earning section, the learning rewards area, these are actually different for each person. Something that Coinbase is not transparent about. But so the longer that you are on here, companies are going to come in and actually offer these learning opportunities. And so HKY Wiz, I know that you need to go through the verification in terms of your security on Coinbase. And then I believe it to just be a matter of waiting. Now, I would keep in mind that these learning rewards are a great thing, and I definitely want everybody to jump in. But what they usually do is they toss 3, 4, 5. I've had one, I think the largest one ever was $10, and it took 4 or 5 minutes. But if there is anything there, it's going to be popping up right underneath your earned tab. And it could just be if you have a really new account. You know, they haven't offered the learning quizzes yet with a particularly new account. So we're learning a bit on that one together, just because I've never had the opportunity to test it with hundreds of people all making an account in one moment. So previously, I've helped a single person, 10 people, go through and set it up. Now I'm getting data and analytics from 200, 300, 400 people who are going through and setting these things up. And so it seems like there is a delay there, HK. Tyler, I have a question about the Bitcoin split. And your existing Bitcoin is on a hard wallet. What happens? I guess I don't fully understand what the split means. Tyler, this is a good question. You do not have anything to worry about. You have absolutely nothing. The halving of Bitcoin is not going to be your token, your coin. Sorry, that one's always so difficult. Bitcoin is a coin. Chainlink is a token. Shiba is a token. We're going to go through that one in just a couple minutes. But you do not have to do anything. What's occurring is the miners who are mining Bitcoin are going to get half as much Bitcoin for their work, which means the price of Bitcoin, for them to keep getting paid the same amount, the price of Bitcoin needs to double. It needs to double for the miners to keep getting paid what they were getting paid before the halving. It's not your coin that's changing. Your coin is perfect. You don't need to do anything, Tyler. You can leave it sitting right there until the end of time. It will always be worth 1 Bitcoin. And say, you know, as an example, 1 Bitcoin is always 1 Bitcoin. You're not going to lose anything from leaving it there and not worrying about it. Not something that you need to worry about. It's the miners that are worried about the halving, and the miners are very worried about making certain that Bitcoin's price doubles because they want to get paid the same amount they used to got paid. There's a lot we're going in, and we're actually going to be going into the halving next week. That's going to be an episode next week. I'm going to put out the schedule for all of this week tonight, so everyone knows when we're going to be having some lessons and what we're going to be talking about during them. All right. Let me see. Trying to make certain I don't miss any before we jump into our lesson today, because our lesson today is just going to be a lot of terms, and it's going to be a lot of vocab. We'll have to have a vocab quiz on Friday, I suppose. Terry Nicola, Zester, just got my Ledger Nano S. So when I plug it in, it automatically gives me 24 seed phrases, and we trust them to be safe. So Terry, that is actually being randomly generated at that point. And so the only person that has access to those 24 words is you. Keep in mind that device is not connected to the internet. That device cannot enter. How could it tell someone what 24 words it gave to you? It doesn't have the ability. It's not capable of sending a message off and saying, hey, here's the 24 words that Zach just set up. He just set it up. Here's his 24 words. It's not capable of allowing those 24 words off of the encrypted chip. It's not capable. And so that device is the only thing that's ever allowed to know those words. That's what makes it secure, essentially, is that the 24 words can never go away. It is not secure if you handed it to someone else and you told them the 24 words, of course. Or you told them your passcode. They could do whatever they wanted. But under the assumption that you are securing those 24 words and keeping them away, it is going to be nigh impossible to get into that wallet, even if they were holding it in their hands. Even if they had it in their hands, it would not be a simple task. Now, someone across the planet assuming you have kept your words secure and your passcode secure and everything of that nature, you do not really have anything to worry about. I never lose a second of sleep over my cryptocurrency once it's stored on a hardware wallet. Even if Ledger went out of business tomorrow, not a problem. Doesn't matter. My crypto is safe. The technology is essentially taking away human error, being able to influence my money. And so my money is safe from human error besides myself. If I make mistakes, then bad things can happen. But no one else, no company, nothing of that nature is going to be capable of getting in unless they're capable of hacking the Pentagon at the same time. As I've said before, if people ever are capable of breaking Bitcoin or breaking Ethereum's cryptography, we have way bigger problems to worry about. We should be worried about what's happening with our nuclear weapons. If someone is capable of a supercomputer or quantum computing that could break Bitcoin or any of these wallets in that fashion, and that occurs, that person is the most powerful person on the planet. They are not going to be playing around with cryptocurrency. They're going to be selling their services to the highest bidder on a global market. It will be China, Russia, the United States. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. When crypto is stolen, it's because we made mistakes. Cryptocurrency is never stolen because of the technology. Assuming you have stored it properly, it is always human error. Always. Right? That's it. And so it's that is stressful at first. That is very stressful at first. All right. Bulldog 1 ACID. So does the $10 of Bitcoin come loaded on the ledger? It does not. And so it has a 30-day with delay, essentially. And so the reason they are waiting for 30 days is they want to make certain you don't return it. And so they're waiting 30 days, and then they give you your $10 of Bitcoin. Deb Q, you did a bunch of the learning rewards, made $20. That is awesome. That is awesome, Deb Q. And so that's something we're learning together on that one because people are getting offered different lessons. I wish I could tell you the logic, but I assume unless I was working at Coinbase, I probably wouldn't be able to get the answer on that one. But I hope everyone ends up getting a few lessons to start with so that they can get a little bit of crypto to play around with. Then you don't have that attachment. You know, take those little wins that you get from the learning rewards, send it around because you have no skin in the game. And it's much easier to take a risk when you have no skin in the game. Oh, Neil Brooks, howdy from Graham, North Carolina, not too far down the road from my hometown. I am, very, very proud North Carolinian. Spent my entire life in North Carolina and South Carolina until just the past year and a half. So I am as cackalaca as they get, I suppose. All right. Yeah, Janet. No, that is awesome. I'm happy for Deb. And I also am happy that the rest of the community can know that like they're coming. You know, I can't tell you when Coinbase is going to release the lessons. Usually it's the companies whose tokens are on Coinbase will come forward and say, hey, we really want more people to hold our cryptocurrency. We want to market our cryptocurrency. And they market it by offering a learning experience. So you get to learn a little bit about it. You get some of it. The company is hoping you're going to want more of it. Good question, Terry. I've been hesitating to even plug my ledger in yet. Nervous, I guess. HK, if you have gone through and you've checked the box, and you will actually, when you download the Ledger Live application, and so that is this app that we have been working with and checking out. When you download it and you set up your wallet for the first time, it's going to run a check to ensure that no one has messed with it, no one has put any kind of software on it. It's going to do a check. And so not only do you have Ledger doing a check, but you can also do the check, because if it is going through and giving you a brand new code, giving you a brand new secret phrase, if you sat there and you canceled over and over and over again. And I think this is a good one for people to know. If you sat there and you were to go ahead and start creating a wallet and you canceled out of creating the wallet and you told it you were going to create a wallet again, you get a different 24 words every single time. And so you're not actually pre-designated with those words. It is generating those words based off of a very, very long encryption. And you are just getting them in word form because it's much easier than understanding the, I think, 128-bit encryption that is actually going on in the background. And so when you actually get those 24 words, those have just been made into a way that's easy for our brains to process. It's computer speak, but they put it into words so that we would be able to understand. We'd be able to go through and click through. So I don't think you have too much to worry there, HKY. If you go through just the very basic procedure that Ledger goes through, ensure you're on the ledgers.com site. That's the most important part. Are you on the proper website? Do you have any malware on your computer? You're on the proper website. You're good to go. Just follow along. They're probably going to have a firmware update. It's not a big deal. Once you've got everything put together, put all your codes down safe, you're going to be good. Oh, Deb Q, that's a great reminder there for me. Give Zester a thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate it. A thumbs up if you're new here, a subscribe, and click that bell or whatever it looks like nowadays. I've watched enough YouTubers and people of that nature and help pops for long enough that I know I'm supposed to say these things, but I'm still learning. So thank you, Deb. Terry Nicola, you're awesome, Z. Thank you. Well, thank you, first of all. And does it cost a fee to cash out from Ledger? Does it have to go back to Coinbase to sell? That's a great question, Terry. That's a great question. And so, assuming you were following the path of our first lesson, you were buying on Coinbase, storing on Ledger. All you would need to do is send from Ledger to your Coinbase account, which means there'll be a gas fee. Remember how we went through and we talked about how your gas fee is based off of the GUI. So if you're cheap, you'll wait until 2, 3 a.m. or something of that nature. And that would be the only fee you experience from going from Ledger to Coinbase. It is only going to be the gas fee. And so if you were sending $100, the gas fee might be $1. If you sent $1,000, the gas fee would be $1. And so the gas fee is not based off of how much of a cryptocurrency you're sending. It's based off of primarily market traffic. And so the time of day, how many people are using it, what people are doing on the blockchain. And so that would be a small, very, very small fee, Terry. Then on Coinbase, as we went through, you'd see if you go through advanced trading, you're going to experience a fee of, I believe, somewhere around 0.01% on a trade, depending on the cryptocurrency and the method that you use on that exchange to make it. So if you go through the easy form, we know because we saw that one live. On the easy form, the fee becomes ridiculous. You're making a $7 transaction and they want $1. And so that one would only be based off of that. But otherwise, Terry, to essentially answer your question, there is none. There really is no major fee. You may pay a couple dollars sending it from Ledger to Coinbase, and then you'll pay a couple dollars selling it on Coinbase. And then you transfer it to your bank for free. Transfers from bank to bank or from Coinbase to bank are free. And so do not have to worry about that one. If you get a big win, they're not about to take a huge chunk of flesh. I would watch out for the tax man on that one. He's going to be the one coming for his chunk. Oh, Karen Dunn sitting here in Denver, North Kakalaki at the Chick-fil-A watching you. Oh, I appreciate that, Karen Dunn. And in Denver, NC. Denver, NC. I know that I have been through it, but I cannot remember what it was for. I imagine it was for work when I was doing networking and home security. So I imagine it was a job for somebody's house or business up there, but that is too awesome. I appreciate it. And we got a Chick-fil-A down here in Puerto Rico now, so I'm feeling pretty special down here. I might have to go get some Chick-fil-A now that you made me think about it. All right, Jeremy. Someone gives us a reminder to use some sunscreen. Yeah, I'm looking a little rosy today. A little rosy today. For those that don't know from the original Mark C channel, my sister is down and visiting, and she's staying in my house with her and her friends. So I am entertaining my sister for her vacation, which I'm very, very happy to be doing because I'm extremely excited to get to see her and hang out with her. But it does mean that she is it's constantly something that we need to be doing. Oh, David Lewis, yep. Well, that is definitely a demerit. That is definitely a demerit. I'm gonna have to chalk that one up, but as long as you don't get another one, no detention. I appreciate it, David Lewis. So dang, I missed the beginning. Here's your apple. I'll take it. No detention this time. No detention this time. All right. Yeah, okay. So HKY Wiz says, I did download Ledger Live and I've been playing with the app, just haven't taken the plunge to plug the cord in. Figured I should try and get familiar with a live app first. No, that's not a bad idea at all, HK. I would say some features of the live app actually do not work until you have plugged in and set up your wallet with it. And so there are certain things you're probably not getting to see and play around with. But we will be going in and getting a lot of experience with that one actually on Wednesday, because Wednesday we're going to go in and we're going to start the community portfolio. And so on Wednesday, we're going to go through and we're going to purchase a whole bunch of different cryptocurrencies from all over. And we're going to pile them all into our ledger. And this is going to be so that each week we as a community can go in and we can see what's going on. And hopefully the community makes a lot of really amazing cryptocurrency choices and we make buys at just the right time. And we as a community get something really special that we get to share. So that portfolio establishment is going to occur on Wednesday, and we're going to be doing a lot of moving different cryptocurrencies over to a ledger that day. And so definitely look forward to Wednesday on that one, because we're going to be making we're going to be spending my money on getting some cryptocurrencies, and it's going to be fun. It's shopping day. And that way we can go ahead and we can do shopping day before we go to Whiskey and Wisdom. All right, Rob Will, I have a bunch of pending transactions being sent to me. Can accepting them from unverified sources leave me susceptible to getting hacked? And should I just ignore and avoid them? If you have pending transactions coming in from something in ever, unless you specifically just clicked on something or utilized a decentralized application or something of that nature in order to initiate that transaction, always assume that it is a scam. Always assume that it is a scam. If people are sending dollars to you out of nowhere, Rob, or attempting to ask you for money out of nowhere, what they're hoping is that you're just going to go in and click buttons real fast and accidentally send them some money. So I would not trust anything in regards to that one at all. If you're sitting there and you're on your ledger and you clicked into your ledger, into Ledger Live, and you know right then is when you clicked and it says, hey, would you like to verify your address? You're good. You're in Ledger Live. You have your hardware wallet in front of you. It's capable of reading the actual transaction, so it's going to tell you if you're sending something. So you really don't have to worry as long as you're going through those. But if you have a hot wallet and you're getting pending transactions and stuff of that nature sent to it, you're going to want to worry about that. That is not something to click on. D Rambo, hi sister. I'm so behind, but I will catch up. Oh, that is no problem, D Rambo. You're right here at the beginning. We have good timing. HKY Wiz says, Sir Jeremy, could we even trade crypto back and forth? Absolutely. You could easily, or you could make 2 wallets and trade with yourself. Cryptocurrency is particularly cheap when the market is reasonable to transact with. Right now, on account of the insanity of the market, transacting currently on Ethereum is 89 Gwei. 89 Gwei is known as not that cheap. So that would end up, I think I think that would mean a transaction would cost at least $10 right now, minimum. Probably much more, probably closer to 20. But other than that, HKY Wiz, we can. And we can also even create a testnet and send crypto back and forth for absolutely free. Arlene Calderon, do you eat Puerto Rican rice? Con candules, alcapurrias. I do enjoy my my arroz con candules in Puerto Rico and alcapurrias. I am not a huge mofongo fan. I know that I'm not supposed to say that, and I'm probably about to have a brick fly in through the window, but I'm not a huge mofongo fan. I really enjoy tostones. I love all of the different ceviche style ensaladas, you know, ensalada de pulpo or carrucho, but yeah. The papa rellenos, I don't mess with. I don't mess with. But really glad to have you in here. Yeah, you probably got some good food then as a child, some really good food. Odie, I went with the Jade instead of Ledger. Jade is open source and Ledger's not. That's awesome. I'm happy for you on that one, Odie. I will definitely check out a little bit more about it. Magellan, art instruction. Why does my Coinbase screen look different than yours? All right. And so there's probably a pretty simple one on this one. Dark mode, light mode. Dark mode, light mode. I do not use light mode ever. I spend too much time looking at a computer screen. I just can't handle it. And so if you are the same way, go on up here to the top right, click on that button and flip that switch because, oh my God, it makes it so much better in my opinion. All right, though. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and actually jump into a bit of our plan for the day now. We have gone through a decent amount of hellos, and hopefully we're through a lot of the questions. I know that there are more questions still pending inside of Discord and the like. I am trying to keep up, guys. I am trying to get everything together on the back end. It's taking up a lot of my time. So I'm hoping once I've got cameras running and, to my knowledge, Rumble is working properly this evening. Once I have everything settled down well on that, hopefully I'll be a whole lot quicker in getting to some of those questions. So my apologies for folks that are that are looking forward to some of those answers inside of the Discord and the like. I am working on them, but got a lot running around. Yep, Bulldog also with advanced. It will look different. Dark mode. Oh, HKY Wiz. Dark mode is so much easier on the eyes. Oh my. I can't handle any software program that only allows light mode. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. You know, I spend too much time at the computer to be blinded all day long. I'm a huge fan of dark mode, but to each their own on that one. So today, we are going to go into a quick little lingo lesson. And so this one is going to be somewhat interesting. And I would say to everyone that is currently here that they can follow along actually with this lingo lesson inside of the, I went and rolled right by it, the education section. And so inside of the education section of the Discord are the entire list of terms that we're going to be going through today. And I would like to go ahead and tell everyone I apologize for the terrible formatting. The format inside of the education room is going to improve and make this a whole lot easier to read. But I really wanted to get it up there for the stream so that everyone is capable of seeing the terms, the definitions, and going ahead and looking through them a bit. And so I got it up there in a rush. So my apologies that it is not properly formatted, but this is going to be all the information in terms of the terms that we're going to be going through. And we're going to gloss over some of them, and we're going to learn a lot of them as we go through more advanced lessons. And so really what I'm going to focus on today as I go through the list is talking about the terms that are important just to understand crypto entirely. A lot of times, some of these different words, if you don't understand what's being said, you can't even keep up. And so we're going to go through these it's both fun and no fun. I feel like I'm teaching an English lesson, but in a different language. I don't know what language I'm teaching, an alien language, because a lot of the words that are utilized in cryptocurrency are not logical. They were made up by one community. They went viral, and then everyone else just absorbed them. And then other words are very common. They're primarily just tech terms. And so in regards to that one, we're going to see a lot that are terms that I think a lot of people will recognize just because they're terms inside of the tech industry or inside of the financial industry. And so I believe there will be a lot there that people will already know. But on the slang side, these are all going to be weird looking. Terry Nicola. Oh, yeah. What is Discord and how do I get it? So Discord is actually a application you can download onto your computer or your phone or any other device. And it is where the community's main point of contact for me is. And so if you go to the link tree, which I will go ahead and try to get that post in the chat quickly, you'll be able to join my Discord. And so that Discord is for the community. It is designed to allow everyone to be able to safely communicate both with me and with each other. Because in the long run, guys, it's not going to be anyone coming to me for answers. In a couple months, the folks in this community are going to be able to answer 99% of the questions that show up from people. All right. Weezer 58, I believe it is. I believe it is. That's a good question, Weezer. I did it the same way I did last time, and last time it worked, but I didn't announce it to anyone. And so last time I went back through after the stream and checked on it to see whether I had set it up properly, and it did work. So I am not positive just because I don't like to throw my screens all over the place or mess up and have background audio, but I'm fingers crossed it's working. So for those that are interested to go ahead and be able to follow along, those terms are inside of the room, and they are going to be regularly referenced throughout this entire education process. Some of them are really easy. Some of them are a bit more. But what we're going to go ahead and go through now is we're going to start with this list. And so this one's going to be interesting, and I'm going to try to point out some of the ones that are particularly important, and also try to skip over or gloss over some of the ones that we really don't need to know about yet. It's not that they're not important. It's just that we're working from a beginner standpoint. We're working our way up. Certain of these things, we're not going to be worrying about that word for a little while. You know, a great example would actually be right down here with, with a decentralized autonomous organization. You know, that's very interesting technology. We're going to talk about it, but we don't need to talk about it right now. And so some of these words are being put out there kind of ahead of time. Same thing with, decentralized finance. I can't wait to talk to everyone about DeFi and about what it's capable of doing, but we're not going to talk about it for a little while. So we're going to kind of gloss over it just a little bit for the moment. We're going to go through today the most important words, the words that will actually throw you off, will mess you up when you hear people say them and you have no idea what they're talking about. And so let's go ahead and go through a few of these different ones. Of course, everyone already knows what a Bitcoin is. Bitcoin was the first. It is still, of course, the most popular cryptocurrency. It was originally proposed actually in 2008. And so this brings me into a little bit of a history lesson that I think would be helpful for folks. And so Bitcoin was originally introduced back in 2008. It was actually a paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system or something like that. Was what it was put forth on a cryptography website. And it was put forth by a guy going underneath the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto. And so 2008, if we think about the things that were going on in the world, we were looking at the 2008-2009 financial crisis. And so what Satoshi, or whether he is an individual or a group, there is no proof, we do not know, But whether he is an individual or a group, whether he is actually a Japanese guy, which he claimed in 2012 that he was living in Japan, and that he was Japanese, we do not know. But what we do know is that his reason for doing so is because he was a very, very strong and devout libertarian. And he believed that our governments in the 2008-2009 crisis had sold us all out. They sold our money out. They sold the individual people out. And they prioritized the wealthy. They prioritized the corporations. And he believed that we needed to do something about it. We needed to make money hard again. And so that's a term that was regularly used inside of the chat, was that money needed to be hard again. Because in 2008, 2009, what he meant by that was that printing money is easy. It's easy. Money should be hard to make. It should be difficult for new money to enter into circulation. And so he created Bitcoin, utilizing a decentralized ledger and with the help of other people inside of the cryptography group. He created a currency that is extremely hard to make. It is limited in cap. Ultimately, it is deflationary. It has to be deflationary because every time a single Bitcoin is lost, it's never coming back. And so it is inherently deflationary once it has actually reached the end of its cycle, but it's extremely hard to make. And so he made this entirely on account of the way that governments and corporations had handled the crisis, figuring that it was time for a change. And so this blockchain technology is really what founded all of these companies. All of these companies, whether it's Ripple or XLM or Ethereum or any of them, they all exist because of Satoshi Nakamoto and his idea of a blockchain ledger. And so we all probably have a general understanding of a ledger. A ledger is essentially the same way that you do your accounting each month for your bills. That's a ledger. It's how much money do I owe? How much money do I have? Who has my money now? And so this blockchain ledger, a decentralized ledger that no one person could ever control, is the foundation of the idea of Bitcoin. And so as this continued and we started to see him actually reach the point where there was a legitimate product to be presented, what he ended up actually doing was handing over the source code for Bitcoin. And so we never probably will know who Satoshi Nakamoto actually is, because once it was actually working, he did hand over the source code. He essentially handed over the keys to the ship. And he handed them over to a particularly odd character, in all honesty. And so many people actually assume that this fella is the Bitcoin guy. So back in 2010, Satoshi Nakamoto handed over the source code to Gavin Anderson. Now, Gavin does not have any control over the network. He has control over the network in the form of he has Bitcoin. But Bitcoin and a blockchain technology is essentially unstoppable when it's a layer one solution like Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's unstoppable. It will continue. It does not require Gavin. It doesn't require anything of that nature. But so back in 2010, Gavin was handed over the source code. And so he, and I believe it's Bitcoin.com or the Bitcoin Foundation, have been running future development on Bitcoin technology upgrades since then. And that's important to keep in mind because these technology upgrades are not actually, they're not forced. So essentially, unless the network agrees and votes on it, nothing happens. And so Gavin over here can't decide he's going to do some crap and we're going to all have to deal with it. That's not how it works. Everyone that has hash rate, which means they're a miner, or everyone that owns Bitcoin has a vote. And our votes count when it comes to blockchain technology, because keep in mind that blockchain ledger is being used to track money. It could very easily be used to track votes. In the same way that we can guarantee that you are the true owner of said Bitcoin, or you are the true owner of said NFT or whatever, it could be used to say that you are the true owner of that vote. And so it allows voting. The blockchain has far more applications than people realize, I think, on a regular basis. People think it's just for money. The blockchain is not just for money. This is a technology that's going to change things all over the place. And so when Satoshi Nakamoto put this out, he created a technology that was going to change the world. Absolutely change the world, because it's not just going to be our money. It's going to be when you go to the courthouse and you want to check the title of your car, or check the title of your house. It's going to be a blockchain. When you go and you vote, assuming we live in a free and democratic society going into the future, it will be utilizing blockchain technology. When you go and you have your grades when you're in school and you get your grades back, your A's and your B's and your everything else, what's going to be tracking? It's going to be a blockchain, because it is immutable. It cannot be changed. It's proof. Every single time, it is proof. And so we're going to see it used in far more ways than just the basics. And that's what Satoshi made. He made it because he had a problem to solve. The problem was governments and corporations printing our dollars and taking our money away from us, taking our retirements away from our grandparents, taking futures away from our children. That is why he made it. But the technology is so powerful, it's going to be used for far more than just money. And so as we kind of go through this one, we know that Satoshi ended up kind of disappearing after that point. And we also know that Bitcoin really didn't enter into the limelight until actually back in the days of the Silk Road. And so back during the Silk Road was the platform that operated back in, I believe it was like 2010, 2011, that time frame. And it was where people could go in and they could utilize a cryptocurrency to buy any degree of illicit things, whether it be drugs or things far worse. And criminals were utilizing the technology because criminals figured out first the technology is superior and they're not being tracked. And so keep in mind where crypto as a word comes from. It comes from a Greek word. And I believe that crypto in Greek is hidden. And so essentially when you're seeing the modern word, what it is hidden currency. And I if I'm wrong on that one, absolutely someone has the right to take my apple away that I received for class today. But I believe that is quite accurate, and that it is hidden in Greek, and that is the origin of the word. But that was actually the time when Bitcoin became mainstream for a second. And that was the first time that we really started to see a price increase. When Bitcoin was first being mined, it was fractions of pennies. When it was first being created, it was worthless. People were using it for video games. You know, somebody would play a video game and earn something really cool, and they would sell it in Bitcoin to someone else. You know, it was an internet currency. It wasn't something that was being utilized like that. What really brought people to realize how powerful Bitcoin was when the Silk Road came out, and people realized the government couldn't find them. The government was incapable of shutting them down, no matter how awful of things they were doing. And so what was occurring on the Silk Road is awful. It's awful. It was awful. I'm glad it shut down. I'm glad the guy is in prison. But what it proved to everyone else was that the government was incapable of actually going through and tracking down these different people selling illicit products, because they were utilizing the blockchain. They were utilizing Bitcoin. And so that is where a lot of other people started to get interested in this. So wait a second. This internet money is outside of the rail guards of corporate and national interests. You know, this is our currency. What we say it's worth is what it's worth. And so it became the people's currency in that fashion. It is internet gold, as many people have said it. And I mean, heck, even Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know, calls Bitcoin essentially digital gold. Many people have learned over the years that there's a big difference between what is valuable and what is not valuable. Bitcoin is valuable because it's difficult. Gold is not valuable because it's shiny. Gold is valuable because it's difficult to acquire. And that's a very important thing that many people, that I feel like a lot of times talking heads keep away from us. The reason that gold back and the gold back currency was a thing is not because gold has any real value. Gold doesn't. Gold has value because it's difficult to acquire and we like it. It's difficult to acquire is the most important part. And so people like Robert Kiyosaki, people like many others inside of the metal industries have already began making their move over to cryptocurrency because it is effectively modern precious metals. It is difficult to acquire. It is not inflationary. And it is impossible to fake if people are knowledgeable. And so it's actually much more difficult to fake a cryptocurrency than it is to say fake gold. We all have heard about pyrite, fool's gold. Many a times people were tricked by it. In this case, with a cryptocurrency, unless they are very, very, very unknowledgeable, they're not going to get tricked. Arlene Calderon, I thought Crypto Mint did. I pulled from a very, very, very far back memory on that one, and so I'm still waiting to see if anyone tells me I'm right or wrong on that one. But so, all right, we've kind of done a little bit just of understanding what is going on here in regards to cryptocurrency. So that's a little bit of the backstory, a little bit of an understanding about where things came from. It was designed to fill a need. That need was caused by the 2008-2009 crisis. Arlene Calderon, secret. Yeah, hidden was what I was going with. Secret. There you go. Appreciate that, Arlene. And so Satoshi Nakamoto, as a character, as everything else, there's a lot of fun to be dug into here. There's so much that you could go through and learn about. There's so many myths and rumors and craziness. There have been people all over the planet have claimed to be him. There are tons and tons of different people. Many people think that it was not a guy actually in Japan. Many people believe that it was a Westerner. That is just an ongoing myth or rumor around the story. Whether it's true or not, I do not know. When it comes down to it, I think that if you look at the website and you look at the cryptography groups that he was a part of, that most likely we would have to assume that he was someone who was working in extreme security situations. Judging by the way he interacted with people and the way he shared data, he was always conscious. Someone works with a group of people online for years and years and years, and they're that knowledgeable about how the internet works and how technology works. Then you would imagine they'd get caught. You'd imagine somebody would have noticed an IP address, would have noticed a name, would have noticed something. He worked with some of the smartest people in cryptography for years, and no one ever figured out who he was. And so I think there's a lot to be said possibly for that one that Jeremy tossed in there. There are a lot of people that throw that one out there. In all honesty, because of the libertarian values of it, I think we could probably make some few other bets that might make a lot of sense. I mean, when it comes down to it, who are the people that would actually have a benefit from the average person having the ability to govern their own dollars, their own finances? And so we can go ahead and discredit anyone who is inside of a modern government structure. They have no benefit for that. They would never benefit. Matter of fact, it would be awful for them. So we can make a pretty general assumption that no government agency did it, unless that government agency was planning on making problems. And so, in my belief, in my knowledge, what we had an extreme libertarian, and that's from every way he interacted with people, the way he talked, what he told us. He said that this was him. He said he believed that people did not have a right to govern his finances, and that people deserve freedom. And so I highly doubt that it was not a very, very extreme libertarian. You know, I'm expecting someday to find out that he's currently living on top of a mountain in the middle of Alaska in a wood cabin with nothing because he doesn't want the government to mess with him. That is the way he acted. You know, that is the way he portrayed himself. He spoke for years. He never once was not that person. And so, you know, we all have our own guesses on that one. And I assume people are going to continue to throw out ideas for a long time. Some folks have claimed to be him. I don't believe any of them. He has, because he was the first miner. And so when he was mining Bitcoin, the rewards were extremely high and there was no competition. He mined absurd amounts of Bitcoin. He is not just, he's the wealthiest man on the planet, most likely. Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he is most likely the wealthiest man on the planet. I'd have to go in and do a little bit of math to verify that one. But if he's not, he's darn close. And he's never, ever, ever touched it. Not a dime, not a penny. He literally started the first miners, went ahead and got the network validating, convinced other people to start doing it, and he's never touched that money. So as far as we know, through everything that Satoshi did, he never once took a dime. He worked for free. And so I'll leave everyone else to their theories and such. If anybody wants to jump in to the comment section of the videos or to the Discord and throw in their theories on where Satoshi comes from or who he is or what his motive was, I would love to hear him. I would love to hear him because I'm convinced that he's some dude living on top of a mountain who, you know, something from the movies. That's what I envision. That is what I envision. Now, just a little bit right now on the market. And the reason that I want to go through and I want to have a second talking about the market with everyone is that I want everyone to kind of keep things in perspective. Keep in mind that the prices right now are nuts. Absolutely nuts. Everything is skyrocketing. We are definitely in a FOMO stage. FOMO being the fear of missing out, which is in the vocab list. And we're in that stage. And so people are throwing money like madmen. Absolute madmen. Bitcoin, 24.1% up in just 7 days. Dogecoin is up 102% in 7 days. Shiba is up 242.4% in 7 days. And so this is a story that continues down the charts. Down and down and down the charts. And so I just want everyone to keep in mind that these times are, there's a lot of FOMO happening. There's a lot of people thinking if they don't buy today, if they don't buy right now, then they're going to miss out. And so everybody is rushing towards it. And a lot of times that leads into a trap. And a bull trap, as it's very commonly called, is when the market appears so good that people start to lose rational thought. They start to just throw their money at it going, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. And then a person who has a lot of said stock, said crypto, then decides to go ahead and sell it. And so I would just keep in mind, guys, that as we look at a market like this, when we see people gaining, I mean, if you were a Shiba owner in the past 24 hours, you were up 55.8%. There isn't an investment on the planet that could possibly provide a return like that. Do keep rational, keep logical. When it comes down to it, if you have opportunities to take capital, to take profit, take it. Absolutely do. Because it is really the big difference between the people that are successful and not. Greed is what kills people in any market. Greed is the worst. Greed is just about as bad as it gets. David Lewis, so it's not a buyer's market. That is a matter of perspective, David. I mean, when we look at it and we look at the price predictions down the road, we don't see prices in any way as bad deals. I mean, at all. Not in the slightest. And so that one is kind of, though, David. I do think And I know that I am personally sitting around and expecting a flash crash of some kind because I think they are luring people into a bull trap. And that is not because it is solely me or just my opinion. That's because I've been through a lot of these cycles now. And I've never seen one where it didn't happen. So it may be tomorrow, it may be months away, David. It may not happen for half a year. We may see the longest standing crypto bull run in human history. We may. Or we may see a period of different major moments of volatility in terms of the pricing. And so for all of those who are sitting there and are wondering, thinking, going, oh, is my XRP going to be okay? Keep in mind, you can pretty much just watch the price of Bitcoin. You can pretty much just watch it. There are very few times that the market goes in any direction besides Bitcoins. Very few times. It has happened. And of course, it will happen again. And I'll be wrong in that moment. But Murphy's Law comes into effect. If I'm right 99% of the time, I'd go ahead and stick to that assumption rather than try to take a guess every single time. 99% of the time, wherever Bitcoin's going, everybody else is headed in the same direction. So Bitcoin up, your token's probably going up. Bitcoin down, you're probably going down. And the only guarantee in the market is that prices never stay the same. Bulldog 187th. How did you get to that screen? And so I am making a guess there, Bulldog, that you're talking about the education screen on Discord. And so if you've jumped in and you've gone through and you've done your verification, and so right over here, you've done your verification inside of Discord, you're good to go. You're going to be able to scroll down. You'll notice YouTube and Twitter. These are where you can get announcements and see that, you know, the newest video, like the stream today, is going to be happening. You can see on Twitter anytime I post anything. You can even come in here and see who liked it. Dennis P and HKY Wiz gave me a slight smile. I feel like there could be a little more excitement there, but that's all right. And then right here, you'll see education. Right above tips and tricks, it's got its own category, and it's going to start to look far more organized in the near future. I'm not happy with the formatting at all, but it is going to improve. It is absolutely going to improve. A joyful voice. Take profits even with ETH and XRP. And honestly, just as I try to make certain I never provide financial advice, I'm here for education. And so I'm looking at education and entertainment. I'm here to look at the things that have happened before. And so I would look at it from that perspective. You know, if you really wanted to look at this one, I would go back and I would look at the charts during the previous Bitcoin halvings. If I really wanted to give the biggest tip to anyone on the planet, like that is the biggest tip I can give, is go look at what has happened each time the same events have occurred. History is the greatest teacher that we will ever receive in everything, and that exceeds far outside of cryptocurrency and blockchain. Those who forget are destined to repeat the mistakes of history. And when we look at it and we make our decisions based off of it, then at the very least, we can sit assuredly knowing that we are making the smartest decision we possibly could. When it comes down to it, everybody in their technical analysis on a short time schedule, and those people are blowing smoke. They're blowing smoke. You know, they might get lucky every once in a while, but if I predict that the world's going to end every single day, eventually I'll be right if I live long enough. If I predict that the stock market is going to crash every single day, eventually I'll be right. And I feel like very often the folks that are claiming they can tell us exactly are wrong, but the folks that are looking at the cycles, they usually win. You know, Warren Buffett doesn't worry about whether he's purchasing a stock at a specific price. He worries about whether he's purchasing the stock that he knows will succeed on a regular basis, not at a perfect basis. He doesn't want it to be perfect. He's going to dollar cost average. He's going to take his time and he's going to make an educated decision. And so I think the same thing that he does is something we need to always keep in mind. All right. Greg W. Yeah, no. How can we ask private crypto questions? That's actually that's good timing because I can show everybody where to go. And so if you're in the Discord, and so you just got done practicing your vocab for the quiz on Friday, you would come down here to submit ticket. And so submit ticket right above my little screen, my box over there on the left-hand side of the screen, submit ticket, and then you will actually see down here, open ticket, just to the right of my little box. Click on open ticket, and you can go ahead and actually start a private chat. Just you and I can see it. So when you go in there, it is just you and me. The only other person that is even a debate on seeing it is Jeremy, because he is someone else in the crypto industry, and he is a fully transparent and open person. So he's the only debate. Otherwise, it's just going to be me. It's just going to be me. Yep, Bulldog, 185th. Yep, 187. What goes down comes back up for the most part. Most of the time it does. Most of the time it does. When we look at it, if the belief or the reason that you're purchasing a cryptocurrency is because it has a financial future and because it serves a purpose, the price really doesn't matter, because you have already come to the conclusion that it is going to be valuable in the future. Unless something changes, like say you're purchasing something because you believe they're going to control the future of money. They're going to control the future of delivering products to your home. The only reason that I would ever consider abandoning that investment is if another company beat them. Is there a fundamental change in terms of my logic and thought process? Then I would start to consider it. But otherwise, if you make decisions right off the bat when you're actually choosing something to put your hard-earned dollars into, they're logical, they're rational, it's a business, it has a future, and no one has taken that future away from them yet, then I don't really ever worry about it. You know, when I look at my chain link, I never worry about it. You know, never worry about it. The price is today, I don't care. Doesn't matter. I know what it'll be in the future. My Ethereum, my Bitcoin, doesn't matter what my price is today. You know, right now and today, I could go and I could get, what? I'm going to have $3,600 for each Ethereum, up 13% in 7 days. In all honesty, what I'd say, if you're coming at it from my perspective, where I'm thinking about the future, the true value of Ethereum, it's not even close to the right price. You know, I wouldn't even consider letting go of my Ethereum at this price. It's not a good price. And that is not because I'm thinking that the price couldn't go down tomorrow. It could go down as I am live. We could watch it literally plummet into the ground as we speak. What I am confident of, and what I believe we're supposed to focus on, is the long-term idea of where things are going, the fundamental analysis. And that requires patience. But as I love to always tell people, patience is my favorite virtue because it's the laziest virtue ever. It just requires you not to do anything. So patience, absolutely, on that one. So when I see the prices on something like this go down, if I believed in it at the first place, I don't worry about it. If it was something that I got and I said, this is a gamble, then I start to worry real quick. Sally O.H. That's a great question. And actually, we've been talking about this one, and we're very confused because there is no reason for these crypto prices to not be popping up for everyone. I know a lot of folks have them. And so what we do have over here is we have Shiba's price, Stellar's price, XRP's price, Solana's, Ethereum's, and Bitcoin's. And we can restructure how this looks, Sally, if this continues to be weird for people. But I think that it's probably we have some button clicked somewhere or something of that nature that's messing along with it. And so I think that we can get that one solved because it seems to be working for most people and then not working for some people at all. And so we're working on that one though, Sally. I've heard from a few. Oh, same for you, HKY Wiz. That is too funny. That is too funky. Well, we're gonna have to keep playing around with it. I believe it has to be something to do with a weird permission or a button that got, you know, when you're going through There's a lot of buttons. So I'm imagining that it's something of that nature, but we are looking through on that one. If not, I know we can also work through having not a bot come in and help us out. And so that is another possibility, is that it is very easy to actually set up not a bot to provide information. So, you know, people could ask her price of yada, 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 and she'd provide it. And so that is another possibility there, is that we actually kind of use the bot to help out on that one. I can't imagine, HK. I can't imagine. Starbright, all right, not on Starbright's screen also. All right. We're going to have to check things out. Odie115 uses the HODL app to view prices. Well, Odie, that actually was a great little segue there, because there are probably folks that have seen the term HODL before and are a little confused. And so whenever you see the term HODL or HODL, I've heard many people go ahead and say it in different ways. What actually occurred was that a person misspelled hold. And so it was, I believe it was during one of the major panic runs. And there were a lot of people screaming in chat rooms, hold, 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 don't sell, don't sell, don't sell, because they wanted to keep the price from continuing to crash. And in the rush, many people started misspelling. And so it then just became a universal term for holding. So if you're going to hold your crypto, no matter what, if the price goes down, you're still going to hold it. You're a hodler. You're going to hodl it. And so for anyone who does see that one, that is where that is coming from. That is where that is coming from. And while we're actually here, let's go through a few more of them. So I'm going to keep this one up for just a second. And my apologies for the screen being that bright at everybody, but we do have a few of these words that I do really want to go through real quick. And so let me kind of go through some of the fun ones. All right, Lambo. And so this one's particularly easy. You'll hear people scream, win Lambo. And they'll spell win, W-E-N. Win Lambo. And what they mean is, when is their cryptocurrency, the token that they own, going to become so valuable that they can afford a Lamborghini? It is a silly slang term, but you're gonna see it if you're here long enough. So there's an easy one for everyone. Another one that I think probably everyone already knows, wrecked. Wrecked, pretty simple. You got wrecked, referring to a significant financial loss. And so you purchased something you probably shouldn't have, and things went the wrong way. You would be wrecked. All right. And so as we keep going through some of these, I'm going to go actually back up here to hit some more of the basics. Whenever you hear the term altcoin, an altcoin is just anything that isn't Bitcoin. So now I would say that you'll see a little bit of a distinction being made on altcoins. A lot of people will say Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. So some of the really high market caps might be considered more like a blue chip, but effectively, if it's not Bitcoin, it's an altcoin. All right, blockchain, we went through. Cold storage, actually, everybody here in the community knows a lot about cold storage, because you should have, if you did go through with your ledger, you're either already in cold storage or you're on your way to having your crypto in cold storage. And so that is just a means of offline storage. The idea is that your cryptocurrency is not stored in a hot wallet where anybody with a hacking program in time could potentially acquire it. So if you have got a hardware wallet in your safe, then you are a participant in cold storage. So another one, this one's really important that we go ahead and go over, because I know I have used this term a few times and it has led to a little bit of confusion. ERC20. And so when I say ERC20, that means that it is a standard for issuing smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. And so if you are Shiba Inu, we'll use that as a great example. Shiba Inu is a ERC20 token because it is built on the Ethereum blockchain. And so if a smart contract is built on the Ethereum, on Ethereum, it is built to the Ethereum standard, and it is on the Ethereum blockchain, it is an ERC20 token. It is not an ERC20 coin. There is a distinction there. A token is built on another blockchain. Bitcoin is a coin. Ethereum is a coin. Shiba is a token. And so ERC20 is effectively just referencing that it is, if it's ERC20, then it is built to the Ethereum standard. And that means it would work on the Ethereum blockchain. And so if a token says they're ERC20, expect to pay Ethereum to move that token around. That's going to be your gas. All right, continuing along. Gas fees, we talked about this one. Remember GUI. So gas fees are the fees paid for transactions and smart contracts. Easy as pie. That's what you pay to go somewhere. The same way that you got to put gas in your car, or you got to put money in the toll road. Absolutely. Liquidity pool. And so I am, guys, just so you know, I am specifically going through this list, and I'm looking for the words that are the most important to go over a little bit in an early stage. The idea is to have this list out there so that everybody is capable of going and checking it out. So we're going to go over the ones that are really important for early stages, but that doesn't mean you're not able to go in here and go ahead and start learning about some of the more complicated ones. But liquidity pool, this one's important because we're going to be interacting with them on Wednesday when we go through and we start our portfolio. And so a liquidity pool is a pool of tokens locked in a smart contract to facilitate trading. And so a great way to actually remember or think about this one is to remember what happened when we came over here to advanced trading. So Coinbase, the XRP USD right here. This is a liquidity pool. It is XRP paired with US dollars. And so, and in all honesty, being on a centralized exchange, it's not as much a liquidity pool, but this is the best way to look at it. When you see that trading pair and you see it on a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, it is a liquidity pool. It is liquidity that's been provided in order to facilitate me being able to trade my XRP to US dollars. In this case, because it's a centralized exchange, it's not technically fitting the specific definition. But what you're essentially looking for, if you had a multiple choice quiz and they were telling you that you needed to pick any of the four options that were most likely a liquidity pool, XRP-USD would look like a liquidity pool. All right, jumping back to continuing through some of these. All right, guys, I'm certain y'all have heard NFTs thrown around quite a few times. And so an NFT, of course, it's an acronym, non-fungible token, a unique digital asset representing ownership of specific items. And so the easiest way to think about this one is to think about it with US dollars. And so let's see if I have any. All right. So $20 bill, $20 bill. They're both worth the same, right? That means they're fungible. They're identical. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if mine's old. It doesn't matter if I take two of these and it makes up 20. They're worth the same. 2 10s, 20. 21s, 20. It's all worth the same. It's fungible. Non-fungible is an indication that two things, while identical, are not the same. In non-fungible terms, if these two $20 bills were non-fungible, one would be worth more than the other or would be more valuable than the other. They are fungible. And so NFTs and what the smart contract is doing in that sense is it is highlighting the differences. And that means that when you were to say purchase a funny picture of a monkey like the Bored Apes, which are really, really popular, it is the smart contract that is proving that you are the only owner. And so someone can take a photo of it and they can do something with it, but they do not own it. The NFT smart contract, the ERC7, the other ERC code, essentially the difference between a fungible token and a non-fungible token, is ensuring that no one is ever capable of proving that their picture of your NFT is real. It'll never be real. If you actually have the true NFT purchased properly, you technically own that image. Now, if I want to enjoy it and take a photo of it, of course, that happens. But this technology is not designed to really be used for pictures and paintings. This technology is something we're going to dive into a lot when we start to talk about some of the more advanced uses for blockchain. Because a non-fungible token could very easily be your title to your car. It could very easily be the deed to your house. It could be the ability to prove something is truly owned by an individual without the need for any government or bank to come in and tell me. You know, right now, in all honesty, you have got to go through, and a lot of other people in society have got to tell you that you're right for the vast majority of things. In the case of true blockchain technology and NFT technology being utilized in other ways, you would be able to universally prove everything. You would not require anything more than you providing them with a contract address, and they would know it's yours. Oh, hey there, Valve. Well, hello, everyone. Well, thank you, and hello, Valve. I'm out of YouTube jail. I promise to behave. I love Zestra's teaching to us on how to do crypto honest trading. I'm so happy to be helping out, Valve, and to have you here. And I promise I'll try to keep you out of YouTube jail. You try to help keep me out of it too. I've never been, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go. D Rambo, so token is a smart contract and a coin is not a smart contract. Can you explain the difference? And so, all right, the easiest way, I guess the easiest way is really to look at it more as a matter of, okay, here's the best example I can come up with off the top of my head. So someone builds a mall. That guy owns the mall, right? But he's got to have other people in there too. And so people come in and they build stores inside the mall. But the mall issues its own currency, just like Dave & Buster's. And so unless you have mall dollars, you're not allowed to shop at any of the stores. All of those different stores are tokens built on the network. The mall is Ethereum. Ethereum is what allowed everyone else to have a store. It allowed everyone else to solve problems. Without Ethereum, I can't solve the problems. I can't build on it. I can't use it. And so D Rambo, that was right off the top of my head in terms of an analogy, but it is essentially that Ethereum built the foundation. Other companies, other tokens are building houses on Ethereum's foundation. And that means they need Ethereum in order to transact because they built it on Ethereum's foundation. They didn't go get their own land and build their own house, their own business. If they did that, they'd be a coin. If they're building on someone else's land, they're a token. And so Shiba Inu, Chainlink, Graph, the vast majority are tokens. Of the thousands and thousands and thousands of cryptocurrencies that exist, I would guarantee 99.999% or something absurd like that are tokens. I'm probably exaggerating, but it'd be very close. It'd be very close. All right. So a lot of these other ones, we're going to go back through these guys. So don't worry about the fact that I am jumping past some of the different words. We're learning about the words that I am going to need to use on Wednesday. And so I'm going to need to be able to say these things. And so I'm hoping that this will help. So a stablecoin. And this one's very important for what we're doing on Wednesday. Very, very important. Because we're going to be talking about them for a while. A stablecoin is a cryptocurrency pegged to a stable asset, like fiat currency or gold. And so, to give you that example, when we come over here and we look at the charts, you'll see that Tether is the third highest. Tether is $1 for one token. It is a stable coin. It is pegged to the US dollar. As we go further down, we'll see USDC. USDC, 0.9993. It is a stable coin. It is pegged to the US dollar. And as we continue, we're going to find more of them. DAI. DAI is kind of scary. DAI is, we'll have a whole conversation on it, but 0.9988. It is pegged to the US dollar. Now, DAI is algorithmically backed. There's a whole thing to go into there. But for those who are looking through and looking at what a stable coin is, a stable coin, most commonly when the term is used, is referencing a token that is worth $1. So USDC, $1. If it's not worth $1, we got a problem. Now, you will notice right here, and I would like to point out to folks that this is very, very normal. Very, very, very normal. For the price to be somewhat off of $1. And that is just because of the way markets work. And so when many people are trying to sell their Bitcoin and get USDC, then they could potentially drive the value of the stablecoin down by a fraction. But if we go ahead and we stretch out and we look at the price chart for USDC throughout all of time, since January 2019, it has for minuscule seconds ever fluctuated off of the dollar. Commonly, you're just going to look at 99 cents to $1, to $1.01. And so keep that in mind, guys, when you're looking at stable coins, and also keep in mind which ones you're considering. Tether is not a U.S. company. Tether, most of the money is held in China. Most of the money for Tether is held in Chinese banks that claim they have it. Claim they have it. USDC is backed by American banks, and it is guaranteed that it's there. Now, other things could happen. Coinbase is the major proponent of USDC. And so Coinbase is a publicly traded company regulated by the SEC. Whether that makes you feel more comfortable or not, I'm not certain nowadays. But just so you have the facts when you're making that decision. Tether, that money is all over the planet in different banks. Most of those banks are Chinese, and those banks have never proven the money exists. Not once, not ever. Besides back in like 2017 or so, there was a liquidity crisis with Tether. And when they asked, they found out Tether didn't have the money. But Tether was able to get the money. And so I personally never hold money. I never hold my cryptocurrency in Tether. I don't love holding it in stable coins anytime, but there is a purpose to it. It is very, very useful, and that has to be considered. If I have a choice, I hold USDC. That comes with all these other considerations, but when I have a choice, I hold in USDC. Or if I really have a choice, I'm going to hold in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Because to me, one Bitcoin is always worth one Bitcoin. Derek Baker, are your past videos archived? They are, Derek. And so if you actually go on over and check out Crazy Cryptonaut YouTube, you will be able to go through and see my past live streams. Also, kind of another easy way to catch up on what's going on, guys, is if you come over and you look at the YouTube section of the Discord, you'll notice that it is only posting the new video. And so you can see the 3 episodes we have. Setup test and Q&A hangout, Coinbase and Ledger hardware wallet tutorial, unlocking crypto terms, our current stream. So when in doubt, this is a great way to be able to go in and easily see the videos in order. Now, keep in mind, in the long run, these videos aren't designed to be in order. This content, this information, it doesn't go bad. And so it really is, the order in which you view them after the first probably 5 to 10 lessons won't be important anymore. For these first 5 to 10, it probably will be kind of important to watch them in order, because I tried to design this in a way to make it simple for people to go through and get a few things checked off and then start learning more and more and more. That is on kind of the higher end or more difficult end. But all right, guys, I believe there were 3 more words I really wanted to go through before we headed out of here today, because it has been a long one. I got a little long-winded answering questions a little bit earlier. But so FOMO, fear of missing out. It is an acronym. Anxiety to buy a cryptocurrency to not miss out on potential gains. Always, always, always look out for FOMO. Whenever you see everyone in the world telling you that there's no way that something could go wrong, buy it right now, there's no way it could go wrong, go ahead and put your thinking cap on. Go ahead and put your thinking cap on, because that seems like a situation that would inspire FOMO, fear of missing out. And it is probably one of the most dangerous aspects of a market like we have going on right now, because look, we've got, who wouldn't be willing to throw everything for 251% gains in a week? This is where FOMO comes into effect. 251.0% gains. What if it does that again? What if it doubles it? Now that is the fear of missing out, because I'm worried that I'm going to miss out on making money on something I don't own. So I'm going to go out and buy it. Or I'm about to go out and buy it and I'm about to lose my money. And so fear of missing out is not always a bad thing to keep in mind. But yeah, it's what these markets inspire. Bull markets, it looks like you could do no wrong. But don't worry, it can change real quick. So keep in mind, if everyone is screaming buy, there's probably an argument to be made for selling. Probably an argument. All right. Next one, though, is because these two go right hand in hand. FUD. FUD. FUD is an acronym for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And so this is, it's commonly used inside of crypto chat rooms or things of that nature. And what they're trying to say is what they don't want is for you to talk bad about their investments, because they bought that token. They own it. They would like the price to go up. And so what they do not want you doing is spreading fear, uncertainty, or doubt. And so fudders is commonly seen, FUDDER, is commonly seen, no fudders allowed. And what that really comes down to is somebody owns a token and they don't want people talking bad about it. Because if they talk bad about it, it might inspire people to sell. If it inspires people to sell, their price goes down. Arlene Calderon, crypto will go down when the market crashes. Most likely. One day it will disconnect. Until then, though, we've seen parity usually. We've seen a very similar reaction up to this point. It has differentiated on small scale, but most of the time currently it has stuck pretty close. But everybody inside of the crypto industry and in the financial industry have always been saying, one day the stock market is going to crash and crypto's not. And the day that happens is the day the stock market's over. The day that crypto holds and the stock market crashes is the day the stock market's over. In my opinion, and in the opinion of many financial analysts and economists who do specialize in this industry, and of course understand we are considered fringe by the mainstream in many regards, but they've been calling us fringe for over a decade now by a long shot, and they're wrong. So we'll see. Oh, Terry, you make a great professor with a good curriculum planning. Bravo, sister. Oh, thank you so much, Terry. Thank you so much. I am trying. I definitely learn in a different way than other people, so I'm trying to adapt to a way that works well for everyone. All right, continuing through, and we are just about done, guys. I have just got a few more of these that I really need everyone to have gone through. Everyone. Market cap. The market cap is the total market value of a cryptocurrency circulating supply. And so when you actually come over here and you're looking at, say, a chart, the market cap. The market cap of Bitcoin is $1,340,292,176,158. That is the market cap. And so what you only have to do in order to get the market cap is you come over here and you look at the total supply, 21 million, and you multiply it by the price. That's the market cap. That's the same way that they're done inside of the stock market or things of that nature when they've calculated a market cap. It is how many are out there, how much is one worth. If one is worth $100 and there's 100 of them out there, then we have a $10,000 market cap, assuming I just did that math in my head properly. But so that's the way that's easy to look at it, is that it is just the total supply multiplied by the current price. That is the market cap. All right. I might have a HODL bag and a trading bag, says Craig. It's getting close to my time to pull the trading bag and convert it to silver. Thanks so much, guys. Hey, silver is definitely not going to be a bad one. There is definitely not going to be it. But yeah, as Jeremy said, the HODL bag or the moon bag, which brings me to mooning. And so whenever you hear people say that their cryptocurrency is going to the moon, oh, it's going to go to the moon. It's going to happen, or we made it, guys. We're at the moon. What it means is that the price has skyrocketed. It's simple. It's a silly term, but mooning or going to the moon, very, very easy. You will notice throughout cryptocurrency that the space theme is very, very popular. So yeah, I was a little basic on that one. Rug pull. Rug pull is also another term that you'll hear a decent amount. Someone got rug pulled or something of that nature. And that just means a scam where developers essentially stole the money directly out of the liquidity pool or tricked people. Usually the way to avoid these is to never interact with undoxed. And when I say the term dox, doxing means that you are making your information public. And so if you're ever looking at a cryptocurrency project and they're not doxed, don't buy it. There was a time Satoshi's not doxed. Bitcoin, there is no one to go talk to. Nowadays, as a matter of safety, do not interact with any company that does not give you the full information about who works for them. They are scammers. And I think that if we all, as a cryptocurrency community entirely, if we quit allowing people to hide their identity and work on these projects, we'd be in a much better place. Terry Nicola, did Zester say no, crypto will not crash the market? No, Terry, that is not what I said. What I was saying is that someday it will not. Someday, one of these times that the stock market crashes, crypto won't. For every time it has since crypto's existed, they have been directly correlated. So right now, if the stock market crashes, most likely crypto's prices will go down. Someday, it is believed by many in terms of the Bitcoins and the financial side, someday it's believed that it will disconnect. And when it does disconnect, that's going to be a huge time. That's going to be the time that crypto truly takes over. And I think that's probably the time that we'll see the stock market convert over to a blockchain. It'll probably be at the time that crypto and the stock market disconnect. All right, though. Whales, because this is what we all want to be. So we're going to go over this one real quick before we hit the last word. Whales, individual or entities that hold large amounts of cryptocurrency. And so if you ever hear me mention something is a whale or someone is a whale, that means they have so much of one cryptocurrency or of any other currency that if they decided to sell or buy, it would affect me as a just small holder. And so in cryptocurrency, we've pretty much made up a term for every size. So if you have a very small amount, you're a plankton or a minnow. If you have a pretty good amount, you're a dolphin. If you have a ton, you're a whale. There's a whole bunch of different ones in there. There's a whole bunch of the other ones. They're funny. They are funny. Oh, yep. And Odie115. Just remember, not your keys, not your cheese. Absolutely. Absolutely, Odie. It's always worth saying it over and over again because it's very, very important. If you don't own it, if you don't have the keys, then it really isn't yours. It really isn't. All right, though, guys, those are actually the ones that I really wanted to go through today. And so thank you guys so much for coming in. I will be going in to the Discord this evening and checking out questions and answering questions either there or, depending on whether the question makes sense to do so, I would like to be able to bring some of those to the live streams so that other people can get the answer at the same time. So I'm going to go through everyone's questions today and tomorrow. And when we come back on Wednesday, remember Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be coming back and we'll be doing our portfolio. So we're going to be buying things on Wednesday night. So if you guys want to come in and see what cryptos I'm going to go ahead and snag to start with, it will be the night. We're going to ease into it. We're not going to buy everything for the portfolio on one night. We're going to go through and we're going to get some of the different tokens that I'm interested in. And we're going to set up the rest of our dollars to be ready for when the market is what I'm looking for, or also what the community is looking for. I'm hoping people have some opinions on what we should hold and what we should have. And I'll try to work within my constraints of what I know is just not a good idea or what is a good idea, and then work with the community to make our portfolio really, really be a blending of the two of us. So thank you guys so much. David Lewis. All right. I'm getting that apple next time. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Oh, Aloha Patriot. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful one. And you can't know how much I appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with me. An hour and 42 minutes talking about crypto lingo and the history of crypto and answering questions. That's a long time. I appreciate it. And so, D Rambo, that is Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be buying and setting up the beginning of our crypto portfolio on Wednesday. And then Friday, we will be going live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time also to go ahead and give people a little bit of heads up. So right now, we're looking at Monday, Wednesday, Friday on live streams. So hope you guys can make it. I am going to consider changing the time. I just kind of have to test. So we're going to figure out what time works best for everyone, but it's always recorded, so you can always check it out. So thank you guys so much, and see you later.